So, the other day there was a conversation on the topic of masculinity and femininity. We had people like RealFemSapien and Destiny on there and a couple of other people I don't recognize. At the end of that conversation there was a call-in section where the viewers could call in and chat. One of these ladies called in and had some comments to say to RealFemSapien. And honestly, I have to say, upon listening to her, hearing the passion that came from this comment, make no mistake, brothers, when I say this. I mean this truly. She has helped restore some of the virtue of women in my heart. I do not say that lightly. I do genuinely mean it felt good to see this woman's passion. It reminded me that there are ladies out here that have a heart, that have character. I mean, it might not sound like that at first, but that's what I'm here to explain. But more than just explain that, there is something I think a bit pernicious about the commentary that RealFemSapien had. And as such, I shall allow it to play so you will all understand exactly what I'm talking about.
For me, one of the most appalling things that I saw today was you did bring. I mean, good job on bringing the woman hate with the tough titty to Jen, and oncology and wanting to have children. I mean, good job there. But I want to actually focus on the man hate because something that you said about being wet when a woman sees a man could die for her is one of the most disgusting and heinous things I think I've ever heard in my life. I don't know about you, but I actually love men enough. I want them to be alive. I can't actually love a corpse. Okay. I don't know why in the world.
Keyword willing.
Physically, I don't know why in the world you would get physically turned on and tell that to the public that your husband could die. Bitch, he's your man. Do you not give a shit about him? And
keyword willing.
When you turned around and you said that maybe you can have a son who will protect you. I mean, if there's a bear coming at you, you're going to throw your baby infant boy in front of it. Like, what the Men are not disposable shits. What the fuck?
Now, the lady here offers up a really interesting sentiment, a really interesting point. Our friend here, I forget his name, tries to salvage this by saying willing, as if that really changes the overall idea here that Allie, RealFemSapien, gets turned on at the thought that a man could die protecting her. Now, I had many different thoughts about this one. Things that bothered me a little bit when I first heard this. And in my mind, there was something real off about that. Something that just didn't sit right well with me. Because, maybe I'm wrong, but I would imagine that when you love someone, you don't really think or imagine up scenarios in which they could be hurt. And the idea that they could possibly be in danger probably shouldn't be the thing that turns you on sexually. In fact, it's a little bit befuddling that your mind would even go to that place should something of which like that occur, that the person you love, you care about, is facing off against an intergalactic space dragon that has come to take over the Earth. And in your mind, you're like, oh yeah, yeah. Someone you care about being in a dangerous situation should cause worry. It should cause concern. It shouldn't make you move your hand down south and start, doing the do. It shouldn't really make you think about wanting to have sex with them. That's kind of like the last moment in the world you should be considering something like that. Now here's the thing. Obviously, I hope that Allie didn't mean literally. She really meant that it is an incredibly attractive thing from males. If her husband is willing to fight for her, to engage in hand-to-hand combat to keep her safe, she feels a strong physical attraction to that. But again, the idea of being in that situation seems to have a fundamental disrespect for what danger entails, of what combat really is. It's not an attractive thing. It's not a good thing at all. And I think that this mindset can only come when you don't really understand what hand-to-hand combat or what dangerous situations really entail. You see, the problem here is that this sounds a little bit more prescriptive than descriptive on the character of masculinity, or the character of men, really, to be more accurate to say. And what I mean by that is, this sounds more like this is something Allie is saying that men should be and are supposed to be, rather than Ali saying that this is something that men are and are willing to do, and I appreciate them for it. It seems more like this is a requirement. This is something that is sexually active, attractive, and I need attraction in order to engage in a relationship, rather than this is a respect, a love and care for that I admire about the character and heart of a man who loves me. Because in reality, that's fundamentally different. It's fundamentally different to be willing to protect someone you love and care about and being told that you have to step in front of a bullet to save someone because that's just your job. Your life isn't valued. And that is why, if you were to give me the choice of having to be with someone like Ali, who sexualizes me being in a dangerous situation, and that other lady who is terrified at the proposition or idea of me being in a terrible situation, I'm going to be more willing to fight for this lady than for that lady. For Ali, this is sexual foreplay. My life isn't really handled with the care that it should be. My sacrifice is a prerequisite of being accepted by her in the first place. With the other lady, she doesn't want me to die. I think I know which of the two finds me valuable, okay? I think, honestly, a lot of women don't have a healthy understanding of combat, or they don't have a healthy understanding of physical altercations with men. I practiced hand-to-hand combat, since I was a youngin', since I was like 13, and I know just how easy it is to get cracked, right? Just one well-placed punch, okay? One incorrect way you hold your fist can even break your hand if you don't condition them. You can get choked out, you can get slammed on concrete, get a concussion, you could die, snap your neck if you fall the wrong way. There's a lot of awful ways a physical altercation could arise in. But a lot of women sexualize the willingness for men to throw themselves into these situations. And I'm not sure if that's a good thing. It kind of calls for the essence of hybristophilia, I think. I don't know if that's the correct word, so I'm not using it as such, just more the elements of it. This idea that masculinity is mostly found in your ability to physically engage and fight. But in reality, there are a lot of ways to be a protective force to someone that doesn't involve fighting. In fact, let's play out a couple of scenarios. Say you're walking with a lady. Dude comes out and says, "Give me all of your money." You could. "Here's the $28 I have. That's all I have to give you. Good day, sir." Sure, it wouldn't happen all that prim and proper, but you could give them the money and allow them to leave. You're protected. Why? Because the person wanted the money. You don't need to engage with them in that situation. But many people will look at that and call you a bitch. They would say that there's something wrong with you. You're a coward for not fighting. Except here's the problem. There's a woman right here. And if something should happen to me, something's going to happen to her. So, I can avoid the whole situation by just giving them the money and allowing him to leave. And that is me protecting her. But that's not sexual. That's not masculine. That's not a good way to portray yourself in front of your lady. You just got bitched out. That's all a whole bunch of social stuff that plays around with your life. Let's say we get into another scenario. Same thing. "Give me your whole wallet." "Here's my wallet. Good day, sir." Obviously, it wouldn't happen that prim and proper, but you get the point. The robber leaves. Again, same thing. "But he took all of your credit cards and your license." Well, here's the thing. I have to be alive to be able to call the bank to cancel my credit cards. I have to be alive to be able to get a new license. I have to be alive to bring my girlfriend or wife home. And say I engage in this hand-to-hand combat situation with this guy. Let's say the scenario goes out well. I win. He's on the floor. I'm walking away with my wife. He gets back up, turns around, takes a knife, stabs her in the back. Now she's dead. We could have avoided that whole situation if I had just given him the wallet and just left. Now, it would probably be better if I was more trained in numerous different ways of hand-to-hand combat, which even then can still go south. There's always that ever-present danger of things going south when someone wants something that you have and you gotta fight against them. And I don't think women understand the magnitude of how terrible that situation can be when you're placed there. Now, of course, there is scenario 3. Scenario 3 is when someone comes and tries to kidnap your wife or your girlfriend. Well, now there ain't really much else to do but fight. Because if she does get taken away, well, you might not ever see her again. Especially if they leave the city and you've got no idea what his plans or machinations are for that. If someone comes up to you with a gun, with a knife, and they say, I'm going to take your wife and back away. Well, now, you're not trying to protect your money or your property. You have to protect her. And that is where love comes in. That is where what men are comes in. You value this woman so much. You want to take care of this woman so much that you're willing to jump in front of a bullet, in front of a gun, my friends, face off someone with a knife to keep her safe. It's not just your job. It's what you want to do. It's not just your duty. It's love filling you with the desire to protect the people you care about. It makes a lot of sense as to why a lot of women would sexualize this. Because, make no mistake, women don't sexualize this because they care about you. Women sexualize this because they care about them. In a lot of different book series, there's this moment. In Twilight, I remember. In 50 Shades of Grey, I remember. And After, I remember, where the brooding gentleman does something to protect our fair maiden. With Edward, if I can remember the top of my head, well, Edward has done a lot of different things of which to protect Bella from danger. Not withholding fighting Victoria in hand-to-hand combat. As well as in the first Twilight movie, he comes out of nowhere and saves Bella from being gang raped. Heavy implication that Bella was about to get gang raped.
I should go back there and rip those guys' heads off.
No, you shouldn't.
You don't know the vile, repulsive things they're thinking.
You do?
It's not hard to guess.
There's scenes in 50 Shades of Grey where some creeper dude, I remember, is kind of stalking Anastasia. And it is a bit hypocritical because Christian Grey was also kind of stalking Anna. But anyway, you get this scene right here.
Oh, it's cool. I'm good, Jose. I got it.
I don't know when I'll have the courage to do this.
Do what?
Anna,
No.
I like you.
You do?
Very much.
Oh my god.
Please. One kiss.
No, Jose, I don't. I'm sorry. No.
Dude, she said no.
Christian?
Then in After, I'm pretty sure I can find different scenes of Hardin being a real dickhead to someone in protection of Tessa, even though he's kind of Tessa's greatest adversary, really. But I also think there's a scene where, like, he pushes some dude, he, like, assaults someone because he said something slight or silly. Something like that. I gotta rewatch After to make some good videos on it. Here you go.
All right. It's just a game.
Point is, when women write these type of characters, they usually construct a scenario of male aggression. But this aggression is used in, or for, rather, the sake of the female. If not to protect her, to really show just how valuable she is. Just how much the dude is willing to break social conventions for her. It's all about her validation. It's the confirmation that she is a valuable person to this high-value male. Him willing to die is a testament to just how special she is. Just how important she is. Someone willing to give up their whole life for me makes me feel attracted to them. Because it also makes me feel good. Are you guys starting to get it? Are you guys starting to see why this is a little bit kind of problematic? So, let's take this whole willing to protect me thing to its logical conclusion. Or one of its logical conclusions. Utilizing Twilight. Yeah, that's right. So, essentially there was a scene that I would like to show you guys, just to kind of give you a good idea of not just how south this could go, but also to make you really think and consider the situation that's at hand. So, essentially what happens in Twilight, if you don't remember or you've never seen the film, is the Vampire Council, known as the Volturi, decides that it is a good idea to kill Bella because she knows a lot about vampires. I mean, one, she knows vampires exist, and two, she now knows they exist. So they're like, nah, we don't have to do her in. And as such, they have Felix, I guess is one of their, like, guards, one of their executioners or something, goes to kill her. Edward, of course, is not too fond of the idea of his love being killed, and as such, risks his life to protect her. This is what happens.
Felix?
Yeah, Edward almost dies. I do wonder if you were to do a little bit of a moist check on Bella's loins, I wonder just how wet they would be after her watching someone she loves almost die in front of her. Because that's just how south these encounters can go. Obviously, Twilight, New Moon, be more accurate, is a just fantasy creation. But the fact remains the same. Hopefully you guys get to the point. You can fight for a woman, and you can get your ass whooped. And after the case, let's ask ourselves a very interesting question. Is that sexy? No, it isn't. In fact, there are some women that I've seen make numerous different posts where they say, I've lost my attraction to my boyfriend after he lost the fight. That's how valuable your life is. You get physically beat up and assaulted to protect someone. And they have the uninterrupted nerve to not even appreciate the physical pain you're in, but to disrespect what just happened to you. And you guys are telling me that's the world you think is fine to live in? That's how you think things are supposed to be? You see, here's the thing. For as much as we can criticize Twilight, at the very least, it is pretty clear that Bella loves Edward. Like, she's not happy that he's in danger, especially for her own sake, and then almost loses her mind at the idea that he's about to die, literally in front of her. But obviously, it makes sense as to why she would feel, such terror. But my question is, how come she stayed with them for the rest of the film franchise then? Again, it's probably because she cares about him. She's not like other hobbies that will, lose their attraction to you in its entirety if you get knocked out in an MMA fight that doesn't even have anything to do with you in the first place.
We went out of country. We fought on the same card. He fought the day before me. I fought the next day. During the fight, he almost gets knocked out. As this guy is mauling him, he goes like this. What do you think I was thinking?
Not good thoughts.
The boyfriend. My boyfriend.
Was,
like this.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
Fuck no.
Did it turn you off?
Oh my God, so much.
So are you guys kind of starting to see why this might be a little bit problematic? I'm not here to say that men shouldn't protect women. What I'm here to say is that men will protect women. Men's desire to protect women is not prescriptive, it's descriptive. When you care about people, you want to keep them safe. You want to protect them. When you love someone, you don't want them in dangerous situations. And if a dangerous situation occurs, you fight to protect them because you want them around. You love them. That's what love is, being selfless. When you make it prescriptive, that it is man's duty to protect women, this is an obligation, a requirement. And of course, it makes perfect sense as to why people would say that individuals aren't valuing men's lives when they say that it's just something that they're supposed to do or just something that they have to do. If it's something you have to do, it's not special. It's not significant. But in reality, that's not true. Your life is significant. Your life is valuable. And that's why it's important that the woman that you're with also sees your life as valuable, as important. That's why, once again, if I get told by a woman that she gets turned on by the thought of me engaging in hand-to-hand combat with people, I'm gonna be a little, I don't think you understand the magnitude of that situation. Versus a woman who says, I don't want anything bad to happen to you. The idea, the thought of you being in a bad situation terrifies me. Because that is a clear confirmation that she values my life. I'm not something there to make her feel special. I'm someone there to be loved and cared for. That is largely different than, it makes me feel real, wet when I think about you fighting off intergalactic space dragons. Or, when you fight off, a bunch of thugs who want to gang grape me. And you see, there's something about this that also works to women's detriment as well. I remember years ago I watched this film, Tyler Perry, The Temptations or something. I think it's something like that, where the scenarios of which I constructed happened again, but it denoted something really, really important that our main lady didn't recognize. Our main lady was also caught in a situation with her then husband, where a bunch of guys said some wild, crazy stuff. And her husband, being a little meek and wiser, kept moving. He kept going. Our lady laments this. She says, why didn't you fight for me? And this is his response. This is the whole scene. I'll play it. I'll probably do a little bit of editing so this can, stick.
Why can't I ignore the fact that I didn't feel safe?
Babe, those guys could have had guns. We did the right thing.
Just don't like the way I feel.
And she felt like she wasn't valued, like she wasn't protected, when in reality, he was protecting her, just not in an overly aggressive way. Combine that with the man she ends up cheating with. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. Well, I guess not a spoiler, that's the main plot of the movie. So she ends up cheating on her husband with a high-value male, lots of money, and really aggressive. Even when slight things happen, he overprotects her, which is very similar to some of the other scenes I showed you guys. Edward protecting Bella was totally reasonable, though. Edward's a crappy guy in a lot of different ways, but in that way, Edward's not really counted in that, just to be clear. I'm talking about the other two guys. Let's roll the clip.
Well, who's leaving? Who in the deck?
Watch out! Look! Oh! Hey, I'm so sorry. You okay?
What's your problem, man? Huh?
I didn't see you.
Say something!
No, Harley, wait. No, Harley. No, Harley.
Please.
Harley, I'm okay.
I'm really sorry.
I'm okay. Just let him go. Just walk away. I'm okay. Okay? I'm fine. I'm okay. No, I'm okay.
And of course, our main female protagonist got turned on. She got her jimmies rustled. She got her WAP activated when she saw this high-value man willing to protect her, using his aggression to reestablish control against the dude that bumped into her. Here's the problem, though. That same aggression that he used to protect her is the same aggression he used to abuse her.
Treated that way.
Judith, you know that I'm just crazy in love with you, okay? And it just makes me really upset when you're not on my side, okay?
I'm gonna just give you some space right now.
You leaving? Judith?
This really is not healthy.
You gonna leave me? Huh? Is that what you gonna do?
The hell are you?
Is that what you gonna do?
What the?
In other words, aggression without virtue is really dangerous. You thought that you had someone that you could control. Someone you could use as your lapdog, your stand, your Digimon, your Pokemon. He would only use his aggression to protect you from the outside world. You are special. You are different from every other person. Except the reality is, without virtue, without character, you're not. Allie is probably lucky. I don't imagine that her husband is going to be an abusive person that hurts her. Fair enough. I don't think that, and I'm not prescribing that at all. What I'm prescribing is that this sexualization of male aggression and male violence is not a good thing for young ladies. I do not accept that women are gospel when it comes to what's good and what's socially acceptable for males, especially based on the choices they make. And on this one in particular, it's very, very, very important to actually call it out as a bad thing. It worked out for Allie, sure, but for too many women who are really attracted to this type of aggression from males, if you don't couple that with virtue, this is how you end up getting into abusive, bad situations. Here's the thing that's goofier still. Statistically, women are not more likely to be killed by men they don't know. Women are more likely to be killed by men they do know. And if you were to just do a little surface, a little vain, a little shallow look at the different types of men who do end up killing their wives, killing their girlfriends, let's be frank. It ain't Cookie from Ned's Declassified, okay? Let's be frank. It ain't Steve Urkel. Let's be frank. It ain't Poindexter. Let's be frank. The type of guys who end up being the ones that kill their wives or girlfriends, my friend, you know the type of men they are. You know what they bloody look like. I'm not just going to use thugs. We can use these guys too. The reality is, male aggression is an important thing about us. Not just in terms of our willingness to protect women, not just in our willingness to defend them. But that isn't the only reason why we should exist around women, number one. And number two, males shouldn't be sexualized by women as aggressive protectors and bodyguards and defenders of them. We are a little bit more complex than that. And we're a little bit more valuable than that. Our lady friend who ranted at Allie certainly was passionate and exacerbated. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her because the idea of someone you love being in a dangerous situation should bother you. It's one thing to imagine a perfectly well-crafted scenario in which some bear comes out of nowhere and I use my iron fist to punch the bear in the gut and he runs away.
If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear!
Sure, that's cartoonish and superhero-y. But in reality, if I'm out in the middle of the forest and a bloody grizzly bear comes and I sacrifice myself to protect the woman that I love, I would hope she doesn't masturbate to the idea that I'm dead now. Of course, again, we get told that it's a willingness. Willing to.
And
Keyword willing. Keyword willing. Keyword willing.
And that doesn't salvage it. It really doesn't. Men's willingness to protect a woman comes from their own heart and their own character. It shouldn't be a prescription to them. It shouldn't be something men are just supposed to do. And in some way, it kind of does seem like Allie is using the classic carrot on the stick that women do with their sexuality. Hey, you want me? You want me, this great woman? I'm gonna dangle sex in front of you. Do what I want you to do. You want it? You want the wop? You want my desirability? You want my favor? Do what I tell you to do. It's drenched with that. And I've seen that my whole bloody life. To be fair, maybe Allie isn't doing that. I'll be fair to her. Maybe she isn't. Maybe she really is just fetishizing male aggression like all of the other female writers and examples I've shown you before. But it can be legitimately dangerous to highlight this as a virtue of man when you're not actually combining it with real virtue. Because these aggressive men are the ones who typically are indeed the guys who end up abusing and hurting women. It's not Poindexter. It's not the goofy goober. It's not the creepy guy in the trench coat, actually. It's that handsome, high-value male that you wanted, that you loved, was so passionate and aggressive about things. In other words, you have to be more reasonable about the way you talk about your attraction to males and think critically about why you even like this stuff. But more importantly than that, the biggest takeaway is that you need to value men's lives. Again, make no mistake, dear viewer, and I want you guys to walk away with this. If I'm presented the choice between going with a woman who says that she gets wet at the idea of me fighting intergalactic space dragons, and another woman who says she's terrified of me fighting intergalactic space dragons, I'm going with the woman that values my life. I'm just saying. So that being said, I just hope you guys got something out of today's video. I really do. And if you did, man, go ahead and click the like button. And shoot, go and click the subscribe button. Comment in the comment box below. And as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.